Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wicked Generation, and we are its redeemed. Today, I want to talk about mail-in ballots. You heard me rant on about it before, and all of its fallacy, but now we're going to talk about the solution. Are we going to be standing in line, 6 feet apart, wiping down screens every 5 seconds? We could. But here's a more viable system, a cheaper system, and you bet yourself, a more consistent system that will preserve the integrity of our democracy. Online ballots. For everyone that I've ever seen, no one has ever brought this up. Everyone is focused on the bloody boomer tech of, hey, walk up, put a piece of paper in a box, or press a few buttons. Or B, mail in everything. You think the USPS can handle that? Hell no. Sure didn't during our 2020 primary here in New Jersey. Right over there in Patterson. Useless. Let's bring up a case study of Estonia. They do everything online. And I mean everything. They have personal identification. They have pretty much all of their federal government conducts its business online. And most importantly, they conduct their elections online. Yeah. Now, you might be wondering, how is it cheaper than, cutting down a whole bunch of trees, Earth's precious children, bleaching up a bunch of paper, putting in envelopes that may or may not reach the person in question, or after we figure out whether or not they might still live there, or they might be dead, or alive. But hell, you know what? Even Ruffles, everyone's favorite pet dog gets a ballot too while we're at, right? Right? But not only that, but not only is there sheer incompetence in the collection of these ballots, but there's also quite a bit of corruption too, particularly in places that allow for ballot harvesting, where foreign entities, like Juan and Pablo down the street can hop in their truck and just start collecting ballots. Yeah. Ain't that fun? But even then, this isn't just from the bottom up, right? Not only are there goons, but guess who's calling the shots for these goons? More often than not, it's your common day, everyday Joe, your politician. Yeah. I'm not talking about Joe Biden. I mean, he's too senior now to do anything, let alone create a conspiracy to overturn the election. No. That's what he has his more immediate inner circle for, to pull the strings for him in the Democratic Party as a whole. But in reality, yeah, there was like 4 different either wannabe politicians or Muppets already in the establishment looking to cement their power. Already not convicted, I do believe, but they certainly are charged with tampering with our democracy. Now, do we really want that? Do we really want that to happen? Do we want to taint the sanctity of our democracy? The only stains upon our flag should not be the black ones of these diabolical greyheads that simply want to, sociopaths, these psychopaths, that want to scale up into the political stratosphere, towering over us for their narcissistic ambitions, for their greed, for their ego, just to gratiate themselves in their sense of power. No. The only stains upon our flag should be the stripes of red, for our fallen comrades, and for our forefathers to have sacrificed their lives to preserve the sanctity, the glory of the American Empire, and the truth, justice, and life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and all other good stuff that ensures its denizens. Ladies and gentlemen, consider online voting. Here's the logistics of it. Simple, okay? We buy a big server, for starters. Okay? Now, this is going to be cheaper than hiring out a bunch of mercenaries that we have to pay, cutting down a bunch of trees, and converting that into paper. All we have to do is just assign people. I mean, we can send them like a voting number. We can use their social security as their voting number. There's really not a lot of ways to mess with this, right? But you might be wondering, well, couldn't it be hacked? Yeah, for using the dinosaur boomer tech that we have over in the in-person mail locations. You know those computers, you know why they get hacked? Because they're running antiquated stuff like Windows 6 or 7, 8, some artifact of the past, okay? Things that haven't even been patched, let alone fortified with any form of cybersecurity. Now, obviously, the government's going to drop a solid chunk of money on preserving the integrity of this server. Now, they might hire a guy off a Fiverr, $15 to make all the interface, so whatever. But what we can do to ensure that everything is kept as transparent as possible is that they can just make all the coding for the, more or less, they can put something out there as open source. Maybe like the coding for how the ballots were collected and all the algorithms and stuff like that after the election. Not before, because then people would try to, again, they would have the means then to toil with it or mess with it if they had that in their palm of their hand, right? But in publishing it afterwards, then it can be contested. It will hopefully make headlines that, hey, there's something funny with this algorithm, and then the government will be held accountable. Most important thing, though, is that instead of having to hold everyone accountable in this corrupt system from the bottom up, all we have to do is place the blame on the programmers. The programmers, pretty much, or again, anyone that did hack the system, which, by the way, we can... It's not too hard to figure out whether or not your system's been compromised. That much I've heard quite a bit from everyone in cybersecurity. You will know if something's going down, especially if you invest into appropriate cybersecurity. Again, not as pricey, since you don't have to use it on such a wide scale as opposed to nationwide. All you're protecting is one bloody server. Pretty big one, but maybe a complex of quite a few of them. But overall, it's not hard to appropriate a few servers or commandeer them, or however what you will, come the 2020 election. But in any event, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, this quick commentary. Please support the future of the American voting system. And while I do support keeping in-person ballots, I think our go-to from now on can be the online ballot. Why is no one thinking of this? Well, I can chalk it up to one thing. Corruption, voter fraud, my votes, my sophistry, my systemic oppression. But, enough of those games. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay I'm set before you, but thank you all for listening, and if you enjoyed this content, hit subscribe, hit like, comment, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. I upload regularly now with some pretty insightful comments and some original, and I mean original, thought-provoking stuff, alright? Again, revolutionary, like, I don't know, put stuff online. Make stuff digital. Wow. Creative. But peace be upon you all, and until the next time. Thank you.